welcome back to the Urban Eco Woman. We took a little time off, but we came back to chat with our favorite holistic psychotherapist, Victoria Lorianne Fabish, who is the author of Find Yourself Culture, which we're deeply exploring right now, and she's also obviously a holistic psychotherapist. So we're back to talk to Victoria about her upcoming workshop, Radiant Relationship Healing. So, hi Victoria.
Hi.
So what interested me the most about this relationship workshop is the actual centering around relationships.
Right.
The fact that relationships take up a big part of our lives. We're constantly navigating and interacting with all types of different relationships on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So that could be our romantic relationships, our relationship with our family, and a relationship with coworkers. Mm-hmm. So we're constantly navigating these on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
So I think the first place that we should probably start is Chapter 9 of Find Yourself Culture, which we're deeply engaged in right now. Let's go to Chapter 9 of Find Yourself Culture. You start off with getting in a right relationship with self and life. So you quote, "We cannot find a good relationship with life if your relationship with yourself is off the rails." So let's just start there.
Yeah. Well, getting in right relationship with yourself means that you are valuing yourself enough to draw clear boundaries. You can say no when you want to say no. You say yes only when you want to say yes. You create an experience where you're filling your own cup full so that you're giving yourself what you need and you are giving to others from the overflow. You're not giving to others so that you're emptying yourself. Mm-hmm. It's really important that you realize, or that we all realize, that we matter. And we really can't get from others what we didn't get in our childhood. So if what we didn't get in our childhood was enough acceptance, love, unconditionality, all of the things we want, we're not going to really be successful in our relationships if we haven't resolved all of that. Yeah. And then looking for that in our adult relationships. That's called, the road to absolute dysfunction.
And that's what I want to get into, so you read my mind. The next question is, spotting relationship dysfunction from the start.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, signs. Like, what are the signs that this relationship is going to be dysfunctional?
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of dysfunctional pieces that I talk about a lot in my book, in my office. Codependency. Mm-hmm. Codependency is where a person is very much coming from the hurt child, from the deprived child, from the rebellious teenager place. Mm-hmm. In other words, they're not in a balanced adult place at all. Mm-hmm. They're totally looking at the relationship as somehow, as I said earlier, filling in them what they did not get in their family of origin, their family culture.
Yeah.
So codependency will often ensue because there wasn't enough feeling of safety, there wasn't enough of a feeling of acceptance, unconditionality, and then their self-esteem rises and falls based on what someone else is saying to them or feedbacking toward them. So their sense of security and confidence is totally put on a super precarious ground where they are not solidly, who am I, what do I want, and what do I need?
And I can give you some concrete examples. If we can get some concrete examples, that'll be good. So, for example, I've been in a few dysfunctional relationships myself.
No.
So
I don't believe that. No, you're such a lovely, confident woman.
No, it's not me. It's them. No, I'm just kidding. But I feel like we've all probably been in some dysfunctional relationships before. Mm-hmm. But there are definitely probably some commonalities. So, for example, I was dating a guy who I think had maybe some issues along the lines with his sister and feeling abandonment from his sister. So he just reacted in really volatile ways at time when I feel like if I couldn't go out, if I couldn't do something, it felt like I felt like he was constantly feeling abandoned.
That was controlling you, I bet.
And it was very controlling.
Yeah.
And he was very volatile, very up and down, mood swings all the time.
Well, part of getting in right relationship with yourself and others is emotional fitness, spiritual fitness, and physical fitness. And the emotional fitness was off on that particular relationship. Yeah. So this guy obviously had some issues, and he was putting that on you and then trying to control you and elicit guilt, it sounds like.
Yeah.
And maybe even shame with you. I don't know. But often when people are, saying, don't do this, do what I want you to do, or poor me, feel sorry for me, or, I'm more important than your wants and needs. Mm-hmm. Usually that is an emotional unfitness that they're putting upon the person, and it just destroys the relationship.
So can you give us let's say 3 headlights that should come up to spot dysfunction?
Well, control. Too much control. I think that's huge. A sense of parentifying of each other. So it's like one is treating the other like a child. So infantilization and parentification. So it's like the couple is not two adults, leading their life, having a relationship. It's sometimes someone's playing the adult, someone's playing the child, then they switch. And let me tell you, this is when sex life goes off the rails, is nobody wants to have sex with their parent or with their child. So it's really important. If I see a lot of people where they are treating their partner like a child or like a parent, where they want their approval, where they want to feel safe and nurtured. Listen, it's not to say that we don't want to feel safe and nurtured while we're on a relationship, but that can't be the only thing. Let's say the other person is not able, let's say they've had a terrible day and they cannot give you nurturing. Does that mean that somehow you're going to be completely having a temper tantrum because they're not giving you what you need? No. I want people to be emotionally self-sufficient. Emotionally self-sufficient. And that requires that you do work on yourself. A lot of work on yourself so that you can love yourself, parent yourself, nurture yourself, be kind to yourself, acknowledge yourself. Don't depend on other people to do that for you.
Which probably takes a lot of work to even get that started. So, I mean, something else that because we are talking about the workshop that's coming up, things you're going to be covering in the workshop. And another part of your chapter of the book
both the webinar and the workshop. So there's a live workshop and then there's going to be a webinar so that people can access.
So you have a whole chapter dedicated to something that I think a lot of us women can relate to, the commitment phobe.
Oh, the commitment phobe. And what do they want from you?
And what do they want from us? I think this is I think that I should be able to understand this at this point. I mean, I've been with so many of them that there must be, yes, really.
Okay.
And I think I'm also becoming one myself to some degree.
Really?
Because of all
Not
these,
surprising.
because
they attract each other. Commitment phobes kind of attract each other.
So I'm going to take care from commitment phobe which is chapter 13 of Find Yourself Culture, where you talk about, this is a quote, they love to pursue and seduce, but once they get the person, they lose interest.
Yeah.
So can you
I'm here for a short time is the motto, the battle cry of the commitment phobe.
So can you give us a profile of the commitment phobe?
Yeah. I'm amazed at how seductive and how enticing commitment phobes are. They're sexy and they're scary. Running the other direction. Awesome. Really. I gotta tell you that. Okay. So commitment phobes, you're in a relationship, a connection with a commitment phobe when they are very engaged in push-pull dynamics.
Okay.
They're here, they're not. They call, then the silent treatment. We don't know what they're doing. Are they here? We're not sure. They disappear for a while. Where are they? I don't know. Then they come back and they go, oh, flowers, beautiful. And you say, where have you been? Oh, don't ruin the moment. It's like,
oh, yes. Dinners.
Yes,
Dinners.
fabulous, but then disappear. Gone. Don't know where they are.
Yes.
So you have to be really cautious. Sorry, see, I'm getting all excited here. You have to be really cautious because commitment phobes are kind of, preying on, it's not that they're bad people. Often a commitment phobe, and I've worked with many, they really would prefer not to be that way. But they end up being that way. Why? Because they've come from very dysfunctional homes. Either they've come from addiction homes or violent communication homes or all out and out abuse homes. And so they're saying in their subconscious mind, and then it becomes conscious, why am I going to invest in a relationship where all I know from my conscious self as a child that relationships are dangerous to my soul, dangerous to my heart, and they're scary, and I'm just not. People actually get like panic attacks as they start to feel themselves falling in love for real with someone. So it's something that I caution people when you are encountering someone who's all about the push-pull, who's all about the here and not here, and I'm not sure, and vagueness, but seductive and narcissistic. It's all about them, their time. You're kind of running circles around their schedule, their experience. You have to know that is not a person that is easily going to change. And I would caution women and people to not try and think, I am the one that will change them. I am the one that will make them not afraid of commitment. I will be a low maintenance girlfriend. I will be this amazing person that they can fall in love with. Listen.
Well, I usually think that, I bring a lot to the table.
But it's not okay, people, it's not about you. It's not about how good or how bad you are.
Mm-hmm.
You're a great person. You're beautiful. You bring a lot to the table, and a commitment phobe will not even see that as a reason to stay.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, so these commitment phobes, are they ever going to get into a committed relationship?
If
Will
they
ever
choose to do work on themselves in a therapy situation,
yeah,
and they choose to do deep work to deal with their anxiety of love, their anxiety that they have around their experience with love.
yeah,
Right? And they have anxiety. It is an anxiety response that causes them to push-pull, that causes them to do that. So you need to know that it is very, very much almost out of their control when they respond in that way. Mm-hmm. They're traumatized, and they're responding in a trauma way.
Yeah, and you would think that somebody, I mean, I could see that for people in their 20s and maybe early 30s, I think are still discovering themselves. But I mean, It's still happening. Like, I mean, I dated somebody
40s, 50s.
who was in his, who was in his early 50s.
Absolutely.
And I mean,
did he ever get any therapy?
No.
There you go.
And I think
it's a pattern, and it's ingrained.
And I think there's just still there's a stigma around, reaching out for therapy. Where people think that they could somehow heal themselves, right?
Well, and yes, you can through consciousness, through being aware. I mean, change requires awareness, but awareness alone does nothing. You need to be willing, and you need to have persistence, and you need to have courage. Those 4 elements are what create change. Awareness alone does nothing. Awareness alone simply is, I have an issue with commitment. Great. Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing. Moving right along now. Let's go to willingness. What are you willing to do? Yeah. Let's go to courage. Are you going to have the courage to confront your anxiety? Are you going to have what it takes to move beyond this very strong neural pathway, which is associated with this very strong pattern of behavior?
And what I've been reading in Find Yourself culture is going back to the hurt child, because you bring a lot of things back to the childhood and understanding. And I think a lot of people just kind of block out your childhood and don't really engage with that and see how it impacts us today.
Right. Well, the child 0 to 10, we are establishing our patterns. We are establishing them through what we observe both consciously and unconsciously in our family of origin. Really have the courage to analyze your hurt child, family of origin, patterns of behavior, because they are for sure compromising your right relationship with yourself and with life and with others.
Yes.
And with others.
Definitely agree with that.
Right?
And I mean, something else that I want to get into which you're probably going to talk about in the workshop and the webinar again, is the notion of transforming your inner bully into a supportive coach. And my experience with that is because I've been working with Victoria, is I tend to do that. I think a lot of us tend to do that. We make bad decisions. Drunk dialing our ex-boyfriends, at 3 o'clock in the morning. When they're supposed to be doing legal work for us, things like that. And you can beat yourself up about it and say, why did I do that? I shouldn't have done that. But then, I got the little Victoria bubble that came up in my mind. It's like, let me transform my inner, I'm bullying myself right now. Let me transform that into something supportive. So that came into my mind, and then I started restructuring my thinking. So I want to get more into that.
We think erroneously that if we bully ourselves, if we treat ourselves in militaristic ways, that we will somehow be more disciplined, we will eat better, we will be better, we will do it all. And fair enough. But the military way or approach of change or of improvement of self does not work for the long haul. You'll do small changes and you'll go right back to the old behavior, because there will be a hurt child in you that will rebel and say, I'm scared, you're scaring me, I'm feeling abused, because the hurt child in us will perceive that discipline without love, and when we perceive discipline without love, we see it as abuse. So the hurt child will say, no, thank you, I am not going to do this, and it will rebel. So what is this bully about? It's often anxiety that feeds our perfectionism, that makes us want to do better. But it doesn't, we have to understand that the way we go about that particular very positive goal to be better people has to happen in a gentle way. And I believe we have to bring that sort of supportive coach. I like that analogy of a sports coach that is saying, hey, you can do it. You're a great person. I believe in you. You can do this. Why do you want to eat that? Or why do you want to call that person? Or why do you want to be there? Tell me what you're getting out of that, and engage in a dialogue with that behavior. That's the supportive coach. And usually you'll inevitably start to say, well, I want to eat comfort food, or I want to,
or I called because I realized that I had unresolved issues.
So the motivations are positive.
Yeah.
Right? The motivations are positive, but understand that engaging in that, so the coach, as opposed to the bully would say, what's wrong with you? You're crazy. What's wrong with you? You terrible person. The coach might say, listen, I understand you're having a tough time right now. Maybe you're going to give yourself a moment to think about whether you're going to make that call or eat that thing or engage in that behavior. Think about it. Give yourself a minute. You're a good person. You deserve to treat yourself well. So the supportive coach is really about that experience of self-value, self-treatment in a compassionate yet forward-moving, forward-looking, goal-setting way.
Yes. Which I really, really think makes sense.
Well, yeah. Do we want to succeed, or do we want to set a crazy goal and then fail?
Yeah. The
bully will make you set a crazy goal and then fail. The supportive coach will say, set a little goal, accomplish it, feel good. Set a little goal, accomplish it, feel good.
The coach is pragmatic in the approach.
But kind and gentle.
Kind and gentle.
Pragmatic yet kind and gentle.
And realistic.
Yes, absolutely.
And realistic. Another topic that I kind of want to get into that I've been trying to practice a little bit is visualization.
Oh, good.
And you talk about visualization, which I think is key. So can you define for us what is visualization?
Listen, the brain does not differentiate between real and imagined. All of our biochemistry will respond to a suggested visualization. If, let's say, we are visualizing positivity and peacefulness, we will emit positive and peaceful and the biochemistry that is corresponding with that. If we visualize scary, terrifying visuals, we will emit the biochemistry of that terrifying visual. So the brain does not differentiate. So it behooves us, it really asks us to get involved in working with our fear, working with our scary, scary thoughts, and replacing them with positive, trusting, peaceful thinking, where you are imagining yourself in a positive future or in a positive outcome.
So the whole basis of it is the notion of it's actually putting an image in your mind.
That's right.
It's at the basic level.
Put an image in your mind where it's positive, and then couple it. I like multimedia. Couple it with positive words. So a really great affirmation that I love to couple with a positive visual. Let's say you place yourself in an amazing place in nature, a fabulous waterfall, or a beautiful, beach, or an amazing, mountaintop, or a forest, and then you bring in slow breathing, slow circular breathing, and then you bring in some really positive words like, everything works out better than I expect, or all is well, or the universe is conspiring on my behalf.
Yeah.
Using those words and being peaceful and deliberate. And the more detailed the visualization, the more successful. And again, don't take my word for it. Try it. Work on it.
So when you try a visualization, are we saying that, let's say, for example, you have your eye on this, condo or this, Isabel Marant jacket. Just kidding. Just kidding. No, okay, fine.
So unfortunately, people take it to the material often. And I just want to say, material is great, but I would rather people focus on states of mind. Visualizing positive outcomes, as in, how do you want to feel at the end of that successful experience? So wait a minute. So how do you want to feel at the end of that successful experience? And I'll say to a person, really imagine what it feels like to have success in that experience. So let's say you're completing that race and you feel fantastic. And you see yourself feeling amazing having completed that race. Or you got that job. What does it feel like in your mind's eye? What do you imagine it feels like to get that job? That's what I want people to focus on, as opposed to material stuff.
But I mean, people have said that they've used visualization as a key to attaining certain things.
Sure,
Like if if there's a certain space that you want,
right?
You visualize yourself in the space. Let's say you want to get married.
Yeah.
You visualize
how does it feel to be in a happy, successful, functional partnership, and visualize that. Not visualizing the guy or the gal or the whatever, what they look like, although that's something that you want to bring into the detail of it. But mainly, the key to successful visualization is to really, really get in touch with what does it feel like, emotionally connecting, feel like to be in that experience of the good relationship, the marriage, the children, the happy family, the good job, the beautiful surroundings, the good paycheck. So you see your bank growing, you see yourself in a positive relationship with money, in a positive relationship with prosperity. You see yourself letting go of shame about money, letting go about negative thoughts about money. That's the vision. It's emotional connection to the outcome as opposed to the actual bag that you want or car that you want.
So you're thinking, you're thinking about how you feel, like
how do you feel in a great relationship?
So okay, let's just try an exercise right now since I'm already here.
Yeah.
Okay. So generally, do you close your eyes? Do you pick a time of the day that you visualize or something, or how do you do it?
So close your eyes.
Okay. Eyes closed.
So close your eyes, and I want you to do some circular breathing, Crystal. Just circular mean up, and then round it at the top, and then let it go at the bottom. And keep your eyes closed, and all through the nose. Really good breathing. Excellent. Slow the breathing down. Slow it right down. Yeah. Good. And now just place yourself, let's say I'm going to choose a spot for you on a mountaintop. Mm-hmm. And you've got an incredible view. Mm-hmm. And try and be really silent about it. And you're above the clouds. And you can see an incredible vista. Powerfully beautiful view. And you're comfortably seated. The temperature is perfect. And you are at the top of the world. And now you said you can tell me this. What did you want to visualize how you feel in a positive relationship? Let's say like a happy marriage.
Yeah.
So I want you to imagine from this beautiful vista, from this top of the mountain spot, I want you to imagine what it feels like to be in a joyful, sexy, fun, functional, prosperous relationship with a supportive, loving, well-employed, good-looking, or attractive to you, doesn't have to be, attractive to everybody, but attractive to you, sexual connection, Feel that. It's not about him. It's about what do you feel like in that? What does it feel like? Does it feel relaxing?
It feels relaxing. It feels good. It feels right.
Yeah. Do you feel supported? Do you feel a sense of, I am supported by this person? Not necessarily financially supported, but emotionally supported, where he's got your back. He's loyal to you. You are a top priority for him. He says what he means, and he means what he says. You never wonder whether or not he's on your team. That's just very relaxing.
Yeah.
Okay, and so that's what I mean, as opposed to the house and the picket fence and the kids. It's like, how does it feel to be in that relationship?
Okay, I think it takes a lot of work. I just tried it for the first time. I honestly only got to the top of the mountain, actually sitting at the top of this beautiful mountain. Yeah. I got to there, but feeling those other things were difficult.
Because it takes time to really, really hone in on the detail of it. So if I'm visualizing, let's say, a sense of success at a project, I'm not necessarily seeing, dollars in the bank. I'm seeing, how do I feel? I feel confident. I feel happy. I feel satisfied with myself. I feel like there's positive energy coming toward me, and I'm giving positive energy out. What is it like to feel that way once I'm there. So it's using your imagination pretty strongly.
Yeah, and it's practice, right?
Absolutely. And the reason I put you in a natural place is it's best to come imagining first the natural place.
Okay.
And then once you get an image of a feeling state of what it is you feel like, then we'll start to expand and get an image in there, okay?
Yeah.
And then from there, we'll get a word or a phrase. At my workshop, I take people through the visualization process, then we'll get a phrase that matches that visualization, and then we'll have people kind of draw out a picture of what that's like. Even if it's stick figures, it's no problem. I draw stick figures, whatever.
Yeah.
And and you get, the more multi-sensorial, multimedia you get with your visualization, the more familiar you are with that thing, and therefore the better it is that you start to get in the vibration of it.
Yeah.
See, the whole thing is, we live in a like attracts like universe. It's not a punishing universe. It's not a, you were bad and the universe is going to punish you, or you were good and the universe is going to punish you. If that were the case, all the good people would be rich and healthy, and all the bad people would be poor and unhealthy. It's not the way life goes, obviously. So it's not a reward system. It's a mirroring system. So we have to get our vibration. Our vibration is impacted by our thoughts, and our thoughts require focus in order to impact that vibration. So we focus on our whatever thoughts we want, in terms of, it's like, I am now in the same vibration as success.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think of themselves in failure terms. I am the same vibration of success. So what is it like to feel successful? What is it like to feel in that successful experience of life? Really visualize it. I might visualize something like, I might see myself traveling. I might see myself feeling free in terms of no limitations. And then I'll get a sentence, that would be, very general sentence, but a sentence that would match that particular vibration. It is good and it is safe to be prosperous. It is good and positive to be in a good relationship with money, or in a good relationship with success. I mean, I'm kind of riffing right now, but some key excellent affirmations are: I am safe, all is well, the universe is conspiring on my behalf. And I mean, there's so many that I could riff off, but those are the three main ones.
And how often should one be visualizing?
I like people to visualize at least 1 or 2 times a day, and it would be best if you did it while doing something else, like working out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought that usually it's like, the first thing that I do,
meditation and stopping.
when I wake up in the morning,
Yeah.
sometimes I lay in bed. Like, I wake up a little bit earlier, and I just lay in bed for a few minutes before actually getting up. Is that a good time to visualize?
I love that. Do that. Take 5 minutes, 10 minutes to do that. And then if you're going to go to the gym and you're going to get on the treadmill, you're going to get on some, and you get into something kind of rote, kind of like repetitive, start to visualize. Yeah. Take the time and really visualize, and make it detailed, and make it juicy, and really flesh it out. Yeah. Okay?
I mean, again, I'm not cutting you, but
no, it's okay.
But again, we're kind of wrapping up our segment. But we're really, you really have to go out and get this book, Find Yourself Culture. It's really revolutionizing the way that I think, the way I feel, and really forcing me to move deep within, really understanding my self-culture.
That's so great.
So I'm really enjoying it. So I'm urging people to go out and get this. And then secondly, you have the workshop coming up. That's on November 30th. How do people get tickets, or where do they?
So the November 30th, everything's going to be on my website, visualizationworks.com. You can get the book. You can get the tickets through Eventbrite, the November 30th Radiant Relationship Healing Workshop. And there's going to be more, by the way. We're going to be doing other events but I'd really like you guys to come to this one. I think it's going to be really excellent. And also there will be a webinar of it, Radiant Relationship Healing webinar. It'll be Radiant Relationship Rescue is really what the webinar will be called.
Great. So we're totally excited about that. Thanks, Victoria, once again.
Thank you. All right.